everyone, and welcome to the final episode on the Benelli Leoncino 800. I've had this bike for a couple of weeks now thanks to MOTO Motorcycles, but today I'm going to give you my in-depth review of it and tell you exactly what it's been to live with over the 2 weeks I've had it. Now, granted that I had the trail version of the Leoncino 800 prior to this one, so if you're interested in watching that in-depth review, I'll leave a link down in the description below. There's also a comparison video that we shot at MOTO Motorcycles between the two bikes, so it's definitely worth checking out if you're wondering whether or not you should get the standard model or the trail version. But now, before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the next one. Well now, let's get started, shall we? I've gotta say, after giving the Leoncino 800 a good slap and a good ride up to these country lanes, the standard model really surprised me. It took me a little longer than I expected to find the right feeling at the front, because it feels quite high, just like the trail, but then I felt right at home. At the front, the chunky 50mm fork is precise and keeps you in line. At the back, the preload adjustable monoshock absorbs bumps really well. But I have to confess here, I have stiffened it up quite a bit. That gave me pretty good balance between comfort and sportiness. But then, if I just felt like cruising around, I'd just turn the knob back a couple of steps, and that's it, all done. So in that regard, the Leoncino 800 is built for multiple purposes, and it's easy to set it up according to your needs. Now, this bike isn't fitted with traction control, and I think that's okay, to be honest. You're not gonna need that thanks to the Pirelli MT60s tires equipped by the 17-inch wheels on both ends. The Leoncino 800 is a cornering beast, and these tires grip very well in both dry and wet. They're so confidence inspiring, even at the front. The standard model weighs a little less than the trail with a dry weight of 215 kilos. So obviously this bike isn't the lightest in its class, but it holds its weight very well. The shorter wheelbase and seat height makes it much easier to handle as well. In regards to the riding position, there is no doubt the Leoncino 800 has all of the good characteristics of a modern bike, but with a retro flair. You're sitting almost perfectly upright, the easy-to-reach handlebars are wide and tall, the seat itself is very comfortable, and the foot controls are not extreme, which is something I rather appreciated. So this means you can pretty much ride the Leoncino 800 all day. If it wasn't for the lack of wind protection at higher speeds, I could even tour on it. I suppose you can fit a little windscreen and a set of saddlebags and off you go, right? The mirrors are well placed and offer great visibility, and the overall ride quality is very smooth. Unless you go well over 6,000 RPM, then you'll start to notice a few vibrations through the bars, pegs, and the base of the tank. But this improved engine from the 753S has bags of character you'd want from an Italian designed bike, and most importantly, power. But you're gonna want to keep it in the mid-range most of the time. In first and second gear, the throttle could be a little snatchy, but as soon as you click it into third, it's honestly a joy to ride. You just gotta be careful to keep the throttle steady at low speed and you'll be absolutely fine. The clutch is predictable and very light. Also, the gear shift lever has never failed me and it works a charm. So now, what's not to like about the Benelli Leoncino 800? Well, as I said, you must keep the engine in the mids or it's just gonna be a bit of a jerky ride. Vibrations are contained. Granted, you keep this bike below national speed limits, as we all do obviously. But special attention is required when it comes down to the brakes. There's a harsh initial bite as you pull on the lever that could catch you off guard, but then there's enough progression to find your ideal braking point. And I would have also loved it to have power modes. I think it's just all down to getting used to it, because the sooner you do it and start feeling comfortable on it, you will fly on this bike and there's gonna be absolutely nobody able to keep up with you. Prices start at £7,699 here at MOTO Motorcycles, so about £300 less than the Yamaha XSR 700 and the Kawasaki Z650 RS. Now to my final thoughts. The Benelli Leoncino 800. Now let me tell you something, I own a Royal Enfield Continental GT, it's a 650 twin, and the engine has got a lot of character, right? But this 800 engine just makes me wanna think about seriously switching to this bike. Build quality is really good. I actually like how everything is set up. Maybe I could have done with a more retro-inspired instrument cluster, but this display is not too bad either, is it? The standard model for me does it 100%. I prefer it over the trail version. Honestly, I don't do much off-roading or green laning, so it makes more sense for me to want something that is a bit more sporty. 17-inch front wheel. In the twisties, it just means that you'll have a lot more fun because the bike actually feels lighter than the trail. But that might not be the case for you, obviously. If you fancy that scrambler look with a twin exit tall exhaust, you know, why not? Let me know in the comments below which one of the two you prefer, and if you actually own one, what have you done to your bike to make it better? What suggestions do you have for other people that are watching this video? But that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this one. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.